Howdy there, folks. My name is Zach Willier, and I'm a proud First Nations student from Sucker Creek First Nation in Treaty 8 territory. Treaty 8's all of northern Alberta, north of the Athabasca. So, if you have no idea who I am, I'm a grade 10 student in Archbishop O'Leary High School in Edmonton, and if you're in my class, you probably still have no idea who I am, but I'm going to change that. So now, I was asked by Donita Large to record a video explaining Métis fiddle music, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So now, Métis fiddle music is very predominant in Métis culture. Now, Métis, the fiddle, actually originates from Europe, and so the European settlers came over and created the Métis people by creating families with the First Nations people, and they kind of created their own culture, which is, now we know that as Métis. Anyway, so they brought the fiddle over, and they would play all these different tunes, and very big Scottish and Irish influences, and they have great fiddle music there as well. And so Métis people over the years, it's evolved and it's kind of created their own style of fiddle music, Métis fiddle music. It's very crooked, and when I say crooked, it's off a meter. And when I say that, it's you can't write it on sheet music because there's a certain amount of bars. And anyway, if you want to go all into that, you can talk to me. But anyway, so but it's crooked, it's rough, it's lively, it's upbeat, it's fast, and it's very lots of fun when a fiddle player is playing, So back in the day, back in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba on the prairies, they used to have these house parties. They'd get out all the furniture in the house, and they'd have a dance, And one point in the night, they'd get some jiggers, and usually each family would have a couple jiggers in them. And so the fiddle player would start going, and the fiddle player would be stomping his feet and clogging. I'll talk to you about that later. And then these people would be jigging, and they'd be showing off their fancy steps and having a ball, and it would just be great. So anyway, I'm going to be playing that for you right now, the Red River Jig. And you might already have guessed, this originates from the Red River down in Manitoba. So I hope you enjoy. Oh boy, that's a smoking tune, that Red River Jig is. Yeah, so as you can tell, I was stomping my feet to that tune, and it was just me and my fiddle. And that's a very old-fashioned way. I mean, all of this music is old-fashioned, by the way, and it's very nerdy of me to be playing this music, but it has to stay alive somehow. Anyway, so we call that clogging, and that's how these Métis fiddlers would play. And they'd just be stomping their feet, just them and their fiddle. And that's the old-fashioned, the old way, like I said. And normally, back in the day, some families didn't always have a guitar or a piano. They'd have, the only instrument they'd have access to would be a fiddle. The family fiddle. Sometimes it would be passed down through 3, 4, 5 generations. Anyway, so they'd be playing and they'd be clogging along and keeping beat with the fiddle music. And if you really listen close to that beat, it sounds like a horse, and the horse provides the beat to the fiddle music. And so I guess these Métis fiddlers must have just copied the galloping of a horse, and there you have clogging. Anyway, so now these next two tunes I'll be playing, the first one is called Jonah's First Change, and then the next one I'll be playing is Big John McNeil. Now that's a second change. So now these are two tunes you would hear at a square dance. Now a square dancing, if you're unfamiliar with it, is made up of one square, we call it, and it's made up of 4 couples, 8 people, and and so they'd be dancing and they'd be following directions. And the directions are shouted out by a square dance caller. And so the caller would be shouting over the fiddle music and giving instructions to these dancers. Now, some of the calls sounded like, "Allen man left with your old left hand, do-si-do," and you swing my girl, I'll swing yours, I'll swing my girl, you swing yours," that kind of thing. So these directions would be given out and shouted out over these fiddle tunes. So now the first tune I'll be playing is called Jonah's First Change, and that's a jig we call in fiddle music, and it's kind of and it's upbeat and it's jumpy and it's So that's that tune. Then I go into a tune by the name of Big John McNeil, and that's a second change, like I said, and it's a faster reel we call it, or a hoedown, and it's a faster tune. Now, I recorded this tune at Myers Music down on 118 Ave. If you haven't checked out Myers Music, you should check it out. It's a great little music store there. Anyway, and I'm playing with the owner. He's a friend of mine. His name is Byron Meyer. So anyway, hope you enjoy. Oh boy, that's a really good little medley there. Yeah, so Métis fiddle music is very focused around dance, but like nowadays they have dances and they play all these different tunes, and some of them have words, and so I just want to play you a tune. This one is called Rubber Dolly, and this is a great tune. Actually, my great-grandparents, sorry, Caroline and John, they met each other at a dance back in the day, and my great-grandmother was telling me how her future husband, they weren't married at the time, but her future husband was swinging her around to the fast part at on this tune. So she remembers hearing it about, well, it was probably about 70 to 80 years ago. So anyway, so yeah, this tune is called Rubber Dolly, and it's a great tune, and it's great Métis fiddle music. Okay, I'm gonna do one more tune here for you. And if you know the Métis people, you know Métis fiddle music is very, well, not even fiddle music. Métis people really love country music. And as you can tell, I'm very big into country music. Here's my cowboy hat. But yeah, and so everyone in the Métis culture, most people love country music. So now this tune is the tune I'm going to be playing is very country, and it was written in the American South, and it's a great tune. It was written by written after a train called the Orange Blossom Special. It ran from New York down to Jacksonville, Florida. So now yeah, but this tune, every dance nowadays, every gathering, if there's a fiddle player, you know that fiddle player should know and will play this here tune. This here tune is called the Orange Blossom Special. So now, yeah, I hope you enjoy. It's been great, and thanks for watching my video. This is great. So yeah, thanks y'all for watching, and this is great. Let's take it out with this here tune. Okay, here we go now.
recorded at the fabulous Myers Museum.